Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen. This week's question was helpfully provided by Rodney to me because I have a lot of stuff going on in my brain and I couldn't think of a question, but I thought this was a good one. Save us, Doctor Who. There's a meteor headed towards Earth. What song do you put on? So before I get started, oh no, there it is. I wanted to mention a couple things. One is I will refer you, and we'll provide the link again to that Asteroid Launcher website that I recommended a couple weeks ago. That'll be fun. And also, technically, we're talking about asteroids tonight, as by definition, an asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. A meteor is what happens when a small piece of an asteroid or comet called a meteoroid burns up upon entering Earth's atmosphere. So now on to my choice for a song. And of course, there's only one choice. And of course, that choice is The Final Countdown by the band Europe.
I didn't see that one come.
The song was released in 1986 by the Swedish glam metal band, and the song reached a #1 in 25 countries. It was probably their biggest hit. They had a couple of other minor hits. It's been used in TV commercials. It was used in a Geico Insurance TV commercial in 2015, which I'll provide a link to. It's been used on TV shows Arrested Development, Chuck, Glee, Gotham, and the movies that it's been in include Shiner, The Kid and I, Pitch Perfect, and it also gets mentioned in a 2015 episode of the animated show Gravity Falls. The song's lyric is both apocalyptic and optimistic, describing a trip into space, heading for Earth, leaving Earth. And I'll read just the first few lines of the lyrics for anyone who is not really familiar with the song. It goes, "We're leaving together, but still it's farewell, and maybe we'll come back to Earth, who can tell? I guess there's no one to blame. We're leaving ground. Leaving ground. Will things ever be the same again? It's the final countdown. The final countdown." And the song goes on from there. So the song's about 4 minutes long. I guess I'd probably have 4 minutes to listen to it before the meteor struck the Earth. Who knows how much advanced warning we would get. But anyway, that's my choice for the song that I would listen to if a meteor was hurtling towards the Earth.
Yeah, I should have made that clear that you have picking a super long song doesn't save you. I mean, it's the length. When the song ends, you go out too. So, oh no, a meteor is threatening John Frum's plane. Save him, Doctor Who. Save him, Doctor Who. For those of you who might be too young to remember this, every meteor on Doctor Who was held up by a piece of string that you could see. They were all made from paper mache for the longest time. Okay, so I just want to say that I plan to die with a spring in my step, a song in my heart, and a lump in my pants. And that is why I am going for Out of My Mind by the band Grendel off the 2012 album. I've got it right, which is called Timewave 0. I think I may have mentioned it on the show before, but you people don't seem to glam on to good music. The song is all about going out. It's really about going out and having fun. The guy breaks up with his girlfriend and he's going out and he's basically saying, you're out of my mind. I'm not going to think about you. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I thought, well, it's a song about going out. He's not going out in a fiery apocalypse. He's going out to a club, but it's kind of the same thing. But it's a decent club. It's not like that time I went to the Boot and Saddle to see the Soft Moon, and those idiots were like talking on their phones and like talking over the band. And I was just like, God, that meteor cannot get here soon enough. I have to go to, I'm thinking about maybe next month, going to see Clan of Zymox at a club I'm not crazy about. And if any of you people watching this that go there talk or get on your phones during the band, this will be the meteor, the asteroid, and your head will be the Earth. I'm not kidding. So I will put up a link to the song Out of My Mind and also to the album Timewave Zero. But I might as well put up a link to the Captain and Tennille doing the best of Air Supply. Because there's one thing I've learned from the comments section for this show. The only thing you people care about is music from the 80s and tragic man-child music. I swear to God, if you put out a loop of Jerry Lewis going, I'm a tired 9-year-old boy over ukulele music, you fuckers will lap that shit up. So again, the asteroid cannot come soon enough.
The song I choose to hear is Moving Out by Billy Joel, subtitled Anthony's Song. It would bring me great joy knowing that would be the very last time I'd ever have to hear it. I'm sure everybody knows what song I'm talking about, and I probably don't have to describe it.
Unfortunately, yes.
That'd be fun to play that at a funeral. You know, like switch like the play thing, and now Ave Maria. That's the only time Billy that song can be enjoyed.
Oh, you know what? I think I may have recommended it before, but the that guy that does minor to major chord changes or major to minor chord, like takes songs and somehow makes them. The Final Countdown is one of them. I'll find a link for it. In major key, it completely changes the tone of the song. The song I chose is a song called Sleepwalk by Santo and Johnny, which I think I've talked about on this before. It just sounds like the saddest song in the world, and I just like this image in my head of hearing that over like loudspeakers and people screaming and running like for their lives. They're doomed though, and I think I would just like sit and watch the destruction and listen to that song.
But Dad, what about Russia? Russia can't help us now, my baby. It's drink the Kool-Aid.
I was trying to decide between like I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred or Staying Alive.
All good choices.
Those are good choices. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I don't know, I like that song. I feel like that would be cool to be the last song I ever heard. But I also would like to know that I would never have to hear Moving Out by Billy Joel again, too. Unless I was next to Joe, and then I'd hear it.
You have to hear it.
I always said that if a nuclear bomb was headed straight towards Philadelphia or anywhere, if I was close enough, I would love to just run and meet it on the ground, because I don't want to be around for the aftermath.
That's what I'm going with out of my head. So I want to be like fist pumping, like yeah. You gotta meet tragedy head on. That's what I say.
Well, while we're talking about this, if anybody is around when I die, try to find out what song was playing when I died. I want to know.
I will let go of your throat long enough to check.
And then skip to the next track. No.
Or just that'd be really a mean thing to do. Is like, say somebody's listening to like when they die, if you didn't like them and you're around, so just pick like the worst song ever, like Moving Out, and go, yeah, he was grooving to that. Because it would show up in the obituary, and they probably would play it at the funeral. So,
thank you, everybody, for all your thoughtful answers. Let's move on to recommendations. And so this week I have two recommendations. The first one, I would recommend you check out this website by a fellow named Ted Gioia, Gioia. He calls it The Honest Broker. It's basically a blog with links and stuff. Anyway, he has an article on there that I found interesting entitled My 8 Best Techniques for Evaluating Character. I'll give you some examples and then you can read the rest of the article to find out the others. Number 2 is see how they treat service workers. So have you ever been in a restaurant or with somebody who just starts yelling at the wait staff because they're their spoon has water spots on it or something. Number 5 is identify what irritates people the most in others, because this is probably the trait that they dislike most in themselves. And number 7, if they cheat at small things, they will cheat at big things. Anyway, these are very interesting observations. Some may be more true than others, or maybe more applicable than others. It's worth reading and checking out. I thought it was interesting. And I would also like to recommend a video from an artist named Lisel. It's for a song called One at a Time. And it's from her album, which when you're watching this on Saturday, will have come out yesterday on Friday, the 17th of February, 2023. The album is called Patterns for Auto-Tuned Voices and Delay. She has a beautiful voice. She's actually a trained opera singer. Lisel is also known as Eliza Bagg, and you can find more about her from the website that I'll link. She does some very interesting things. So those are my 2 recommendations this week.
I have something clever in there to say, and I can't remember what it was. I hate that. I hate when I have one on the tip of my tongue. So I will move forward then with, oh, by the way, for people we were talking about cryptids last week who wondered, I'll tell you right now, Goat Man in the streets, Mothman in the sheets. All right. So I'm going to begin this week with bands that you won't see on the radio or hear on TV. It's actually a band from Philadelphia that I played on my radio show and didn't know they were from Philadelphia. Sometimes this happens. This band is called The Ire, and they are a Gothic band from Philadelphia, which is kind of like being a farmer north of the Arctic Circle. I mean, you can do it, but it's tough. Our cruel New York overlords who run the radio stations here don't like dark music at all. Again, if you're 37 years old and struggling with going through puberty and you've got an acoustic guitar or a banjolin or something, you're set here. You'll be fine. So that is that. And the album, I'm going to recommend their album, What Dreams May Come. But once again, because it's not Fugazi, you people aren't going to listen to it. Keep disappointing me. See how that works out. Okay, up next, the next thing I'm going to recommend is a show on Netflix. It's called Physical 100, and it's basically the real-life version of the Squid Games. It is incredible. Vienna and I stumbled upon it, and we're instantly addicted. What happens is it's from South Korea, and most of the contestants are South Korean. Everyone is super, super well in great shape. There's people who are weightlifters, CrossFit, stuff like that. There's actually one American on the show who was a sort of a popular baseball player in Korea. And it's really fascinating to watch these people compete against each other. But there's one guy named Chu Sung-hoon who is 47 years old, and everyone is afraid of him. When he comes in, everybody else is in like tank tops and shorts, and he comes walking in, and he's got like this powder blue suit, and he's got like a pair of shades on. If you go to the dictionary and you look up classically handsome man, this guy's picture is going to be there. He's like the guy I wish I was. He's just awesome. It turns out he's a mixed martial arts fighter, and it turns out his nickname is Sexyama. So what happens is they put these people in these really cruel challenges where they have to, one of the things they have to do is they have to get like two of them, we'll pair them off, and they have to get like a ball and hang on to it for like 3 minutes. And while the other person beats the crap out of them, and everybody was so afraid to go up against Chu Sung-hoo that they were bringing people down to pick the people, and people were just like, please don't let me face him, please. And then they would go down there. One guy walks up to him and he says, Mr. Chu Sung-hoo, and Mr. Chu Sung-hoo thinks he's going to challenge him. Yes, he goes, it is a great honor to meet you, and moves on. So that is the thing that's great about it. The other thing that's great about it, we lost Dan. The other thing that's great about it is the fact that there's sportsmanship in it. So when somebody gets defeated by somebody, they usually say, I hope so-and-so wins. I'd like to see them win. And it's really good because, as you know, last week, the Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then what happened was we were really, really good sports about it. And I think that is important. And the show does. It has sportsmanship. And it's so wonderful to see people pull for people, which is something you really don't see in American sports. So I thought that was fantastic. And since it looks like we're going to be filling some time here, the last thing I've got here, I want to recommend, as you folks probably know, director Francis Ford Acapello has his own type of wine, as also does Maynard James Krebs from the band Tool. He has a vineyard and his own wine. So I would like to show you guys my favorite thing in the world right now. There's a vineyard called 19 Crimes, and this is the Snoop Dogg Cali Gold. Now, technically, we have to call it sparkling wine because it's not really from the Champagne region of France. It's actually from Australia. And the 19 crimes comes from the 19 crimes that you could be transported to Australia for committing. But this is so good. A lot of people say, well, you only have it because your friend Dennis went to the wine store and some guy was being a snob, and Dennis got this and was like, from the left side of the vineyard and all this. And I'm saying, but here's another thing you can do with this. If you have the Nextdoor app, go find the most uptight person on the Nextdoor app, and then put this right up in front of their doorbell camera, ring it, and when they look at it, go, put all of your valuables out on your front porch. I'll be back to get them in half an hour. And then that person will be on Nextdoor. Oh, God, oh, God. So, yeah, it's actually really, really good. And they call it sparkling wine, but damn it, this is the Dom Perignon of Champagne. It's really good. So those are my three recommendations for this week, which would be the band The Ire, Physical 100 on Netflix, and, of course, the Snoop Dogg Cali Gold, which I will be married with. Oh, here comes Dan. Hey, Dan's back.
Hey.
Yep.
I didn't like your recommendation. No.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you missed this one, and just fill this in with the back of your mind.
Is that Snoop Dogg?
Of course it's Snoop Dogg.
I'd like to recommend Hexmachine's Dark Disco EBM remix of Bestial Mouths, I Am the Spell. Bestial Mouths being a band that Rodney turned me on to. It is really danceable. And it's completely different than the original I Am the Spell, which I believe was released last year. I'd also like to recommend an album that recently came out by Jad Fair and Samuel Lockwood called Happy Hearts. It's a collection of love songs, not your typical love songs, and it's kind of eclectic, kind of charming, kind of rocking. It's all over the place, but I like it.
I believe that I have remixed Bestial Mouths. That's probably the first time I've ever done any self-promotion on this show.
I would like to recommend, I guess really the only thing I saw this week was the comedy with Tim Heidecker. It's pretty dark. I guess it's not for everybody, but if you're expecting to see Tim and Eric Awesome Show or Beef House or any of those, it's not like that. But I guess there's some similar elements. It's not as like directly silly, and he does a lot of deadpan. But he plays a really interesting character, and he kind of just does. I don't know, he just kind of like wanders and gets involved in things, and kind of just disturbing the way he talks to people in some scenes. But it's satirical. So it's a comedy.
A comedy.
Alderson, I think is the name.
Where can you see it?
Huh?
What is it streaming somewhere?
Was on Amazon.
He watched it over at a friend's house. Go to his friend's house.
Thanks, everybody.
But piss off. Great thing about working from home is you just can absorb a lot of weird information through headphones and stuff. So that's why you have to be careful what you absorb. But yeah, that's my thing right there. I'm going to tell you right now. That's how I found out that the Eagles won. I found a guy on the YouTubes. He's an unlicensed chiropractor, Yeah, he said, I was commenting about this, and somebody I know made the comments like, I just need you to find me 4 more points. All right. Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, none of that's going to make it. I don't even know any of the show will make it in. I don't even know how to turn this off.